Okay, welcome back for our final installment of the Effective Stretches for Back Pain video series. This is video number 3, so if you haven't checked out 1 or 2 yet, you're going to want to do that. Video 1, we focused on the hip flexors, which in my opinion are the most prevalent in contributing to the back pain. So they're your number 1 top priority that you want to address. So you can go ahead and watch video 1 now if you haven't. The other video that we discussed back pain on was revolving around the spine. And it was about increasing the space between all of the vertebrae in the spine. And we don't really think about stretching that space when it comes to stretching the back, but it's actually a very key component to maintaining a healthy back and reducing all that stiffness and pain that you can get from chronic back pain. In today's video though, we're going to take a look at the hips again, but we're going to be looking at the glute muscles, which are all the muscles in your buttocks, and their contribution to back pain. For those of you who don't know where your glute muscles are, they start at the base of your spine, at the back there where your sacrum is, and they come across, most of them attaching into this hip area. And so when those get really tight, it puts a lot of pressure on your low back. So we want to reduce that pressure by stretching out these muscles, and that's what we're going to do today. If you've ever experienced sciatica or know someone who has, they'll probably tell you that the pain shoots down the back of the leg, and that is because the nerve actually pierces through one of the glute muscles here called the piriformis. And when that muscle gets really tight through here, it pinches on the nerve, causing that pain to travel down the back of the leg. So what we're going to be doing today is going to help relieve any pressure in that area, as well as relieving pressure on the base of the spine. So what you're going to need today is either a yoga block, a pillow, or a towel that you can roll up enough to sit on. And this is going to help relieve the pressure in the hips, taking pressure off your lower back for one of the stretches. Okay, so go ahead and grab one of those, and when you're ready, we'll start. Okay, so the first stretch that we're going to be doing today is called Pigeon, and it's probably one of the most effective hip opening stretches that you can do, but it also is a little bit painful to get into. So you can take it slow, and we're going to use the breath as I taught you in video 1 and 2 to help ease that body into the stretch. So how we're going to start is you're going to bring your hands onto the ground and curl the toes under, lifting the hip up into the sky. We're going to take, starting on the right side, you're going to take your right foot back behind you. Bring the knee in towards the right wrist, turning the foot inward, and then slide that left leg back. Okay, so this left knee is resting on the ground, and your right knee is behind this right wrist. You're going to walk the hands in and bring your spine really tall. And the reason we want to do this is because we're settling the hips. We're setting the hips so that they're square to the ground, which is very important. And then next, you're going to look over your right shoulder to look behind you to make sure that foot is directly behind your body. You don't want it to be coming out to the side. It often will have a tendency to come out to the left side if it's your left leg behind you. We want to have it straight back behind you. So if you need to adjust, just adjust that leg so that it's directly behind you. And then when you're ready, you're going to start lowering the upper body down from the hips. You're going to come down to your forearms. Now, if this is as far as you can go, then that's fine. You're going to stay here. This can be a really intense stretch, so you're going to want to take it slow. If you've got a little bit more flexibility, then you can bring the hands out all the way and bring your forehead down to the mat. Now you may want to roll your roll towel to place here. If not, you can bring your forehead all the way down to the floor. Now the important thing to maintain is where your hips are sitting. you want to make sure that your hips are not leaning from one side more to the other. You really want to have them centered. Once you're relaxed and your head is either resting on a block, on a towel, or if you're on your forearms, that's fine too. We're going to start breathing in to this area. So I talked about directed breathing in my videos before, and it's really important here that you want to take a deep breath in through your nose and sending it deep into your belly. You're going to send it beyond your belly and into this area. So as you're breathing, every time you breathe into the nose, you're going to breathe that inhale in here, and you're going to feel that inhale stretch this area a little bit more than what's actually happening right now. So taking a deep breath in, exhale all the air out, inhale, and exhale. Can you feel that stretch in that right hip expanding a little bit more with each inhale? It feels like the breath is literally expanding that area, and that's what you want. So focusing on your breath again, deep breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. So you want to stay here for as long as you can. If you can hold this stretch for a minimum of a minute, that's great. But if you can hold this stretch for 3 minutes, even better. This is an area that causes a lot of people problems, especially if you're sitting at desks for a long period of time or standing for long periods of time. This is an area that you're going to really want to focus on, and this is going to help relieve the pressure off the lower back region right here. Okay, so we'll switch sides. Okay, great. So this time your left foot's going to come off the floor. You're going to bring that left knee in behind the left wrist, turn the foot inward, and then slide that right leg back so that your knee is resting on the floor. You're going to walk the hands in so that your back is upright. This is how we set the hips. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder or your left shoulder and see if that foot is coming out to the side. If it is, bring it back to center. And then take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly lower the body down to the floor like we did before. Again, you can stay here on your elbows, or if you can, you're going to go all the way down to the floor, resting the forehead on the mat. The important thing here is to make sure your hips are not coming over to one side or the other so that they're staying centered. Square hips to the ground. You're going to take that deep breath in through the nose. You're going to direct the breath straight into that left hip area where you're feeling the stretch. Feel that expansion from the inhale, and then exhale all the air out. Good. Inhale and exhale. It takes a little bit of visual practice on your part to envision that area actually taking in the breath, but it really makes an effective impact on how much stretch response that area or those muscles receive. So again, focusing on directing the breath, inhale all the way into that left hip joint. And then exhale, slowly release all the air out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. All right, slowly walk the hands back up and we're going to step back into our down dog. Okay, so that was called pigeon. And like I mentioned before, you're going to want to hold the stretch for a minimum of a minute. But if you can, go for the 3 minutes because it really makes a huge difference. And it's a great feeling. I know that once you're in the stretch and you can kind of move your mind away from the pain by breathing into that area, you're going to start to feel a release and it's going to start to relax a little bit, and you're going to really make some headway with releasing the glute area and giving you some relief in the low back region. But our next stretch is a similar hip opener. It's a yin yoga pose and it's called square. Now this one you're going to definitely want a rolled towel, the block, or a pillow, because a lot of you are going to have trouble getting into the position that we're going to get into when your hips are really tight. So grab onto either your rolled towel, and it can be as thick as you need it to be, your pillow or your block. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place it under your buttock so that you're sitting right on it, okay? You may not need it, but if you do, that's where you want it. You're just going to want to have it placed right under the base of your spine. So that's going to give you some elevation. It's going to relieve some of the pressure in here, which is going to in turn relieve some pressure on your lower back, okay? All right. Once you're positioned properly with the block or pillow or towel, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to stack it on top of the left. You want your feet to be right at the knees. You don't want them to be closer to you. This is a really important part. Now, if you can't do this, because I know some of you won't be able to, it's okay to have your leg in front, okay? So the modification for this is just to have the leg in front, but still keep the feet at the knees. This is very important because it's going to give you an extra stretch through the hips. So once you've got into that position, you're going to take a deep breath in. You want to sit really tall, and the reason is because we're going to bend at the hips when we come forward. So sitting really tall, take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, start to slowly hinge at the hips. You're going to fold the upper body over the lower body. You're going to bring the hands out in front and slowly curl the spine. It doesn't need to be straight. It doesn't need to be flat. In fact, it's much better if it's curled. It's okay to have a curved spine here. Drop the head down and take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. You're going to feel a really big stretch through here. And for many of you, you're going to feel a stretch in this area of the hips too. That's completely normal. So taking a deep breath in again, you want to breathe and direct that breath straight into the area that's getting the stretch. So right into that hip joint, and then slowly release the exhale through the mouth. I know there's going to be some pain here, but the most important thing is that you breathe through it. Anchor yourself into your breath so that the pain doesn't keep you from relaxing, okay? Deep breath in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Great. Slowly walk the hands back in and bring yourself upright. We'll switch sides. So the same goes for the left. So if you can't stack your legs on top of one another, keep the left leg in front like I have right now. Or if you're able to, take that left leg, stack it on top, and make sure that your feet are underneath or on top of your knees, okay? You want to have the feet right positioned where the knees are. When you're ready, take a deep breath in through the nose, and then on the exhale, bring your hands to your hips here, just so that you know where you're hinging from. You want to hinge at the hips, gently coming forward, and then slowly walk the hands out. Allow the upper body to relax. The spine's now curling into forward flexion. You can tuck the chin under too if you'd like. And once you've reached your end point, we're going to start breathing in through the nose. So deep breath in and exhale. Inhale, directing that breath into that left hip joint where you're feeling the stretch the most. Feeling the expansion of the inhale, and then exhale, relaxing a little bit further. Good. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Allow the body to get soft. Allow the relaxation to happen. If your mind is too focused on the pain of the stretch, anchor your mind into your breath. Focus on the breathing. That's really going to be a positive influence on your stretch. Deep breath in and exhale. Good. Slowly, after a minute, you're going to walk the hands back in and slowly come to sitting upright. And you can relax the legs once you do. So those are the two stretches that are going to be most effective for stretching out the glute region here, square and pigeon. And if you can do those on top of the other 4 stretches that we worked on in video 1 and 2, then you are going to be well on your way to either effectively healing your back from back pain or preventing back pain from coming back. As I said before, I've worked on over 10,000 backs in my career, and I can honestly say that these are your most effective stretches that you can do at home to prevent back pain from coming back, or if you're currently going through some back pain, these are going to be really helpful in healing your back, to getting it back to feeling mobile and not as stiff again. So incorporate all 6 stretches together, develop a stretching routine that you can do. As I said, 3 times a week is where you want to be at a minimum. If you can do these every day, that's great, but definitely get them in 3 times a week. And hold all your stretches for a minimum of 1 minute. Remember the importance of directed breathing, where you're going to breathe your inhale into whatever area is getting stretched at that moment. That breath, that directed breathing stretch, will make a huge impact on how your muscle responds in the stretch or the yoga pose. So thanks for joining me through this 3-part series. I hope the stretches help you. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe because I'll be uploading weekly. And if you would like some flexibility sent directly to your inbox, head on over to my website, inflexibleme.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Thanks for joining me here again today, and I will see you all very soon.